Hey everyone, how's it going? Well, this is Mr. Waterman again, and today we're going to be multiplying rational numbers. Now we have to go back to our first unit and talk about integer rules for multiplying. And what do we know about this? Well, we have to make sure that we know what's going on when we're multiplying numbers. All right. So if we have a positive and we multiply it by a negative, what are we going to get for our answer? Well, we're going to get a negative. All right. Next, we've got negative times a positive. Well, guess what? We're still going to get a negative. Then we've got a negative times a negative, and two negatives make a positive. All right, and finally, two positives. Well, we still get a positive answer. Now we're going to relate these integer rules for multiplying into fraction rules. So what do we need to do when we're multiplying fractions? Well, we need to get our mixed numbers into improper fractions. Then we need to cross reduce, and finally we're going to multiply our numerators, and then we're going to multiply our denominators. Now at the very end, you might also want to check and possibly reduce. All right, well, let's try a couple. It says we've got multiplying can be stated with a multiplication sign or with two brackets. It can also be put in with a dot. That's going to be multiplication as well. Let's solve this one before we do anything. Well, we are going to use our multiply numerators and multiply our denominators because we can't reduce, and they're already in the simplest terms. So we go 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 7 is 14. So 1/2 times 3/7 is actually 3/14, and we can't reduce that any further. All right, let's go on to the next one. It says negative 11/7 multiplied by negative 21/44. Well, we're going to cross reduce. And we ask ourselves, well, how many times does 7 go into 21? Remember I said cross, so it's got to go across. 7 goes into 7 once, and 7 goes into 21 3 times. Then we ask ourselves, well, how many times does 11 go into 44? Well, it goes in 4 times, and 11 goes into 11 1 time. Now, is our answer going to be positive or negative? Well, we have a negative times a negative, so our answer is going to be positive. And we go along and we multiply our numerators and we multiply our denominators, and we get 3/4. All right, and that's our answer. It's positive 3/4. I'd like you to try this one. Try that one out. All right, now with a mixed number, we need to get into an improper fraction first. So we're going to go 3 times 2 is 6, and we go 6 plus 2 is 8, so we get 8/3. And then we're going to multiply it by a negative 1 3/4, so we go 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7, so we get 7/4. Now we're going to cross reduce, and we ask ourselves, well, does 3 go into 7 evenly? No, we can't do anything with that. Does 4 go into 8 evenly? Yes, it does. 4 goes into 8 twice, and 4 goes into 4 once. Now we're going to multiply, and we get 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now we're going to get this back into a mixed number. So how many times does 3 go into 14? Well, it goes in 4 times. We bring our denominator around, and then we can check to see, well, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. And our answer is negative 4 2/3. All right, let's go down to the next question here. We've got a little bit of a decimal happening. We've got 0.8 times negative 2.4. Well, we got to ask ourselves, what are we going to get first? Are we going to get a positive or a negative? Our answer is going to be negative, because we have that negative 2.4. So let's go 2.4 times 0.8. All right, so 8 times 4 is 32. And we put our 3 up top. And then we go 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. And because we have 2 decimal places, we're going to move our decimal spot 2 spots, and our answer is going to be negative 1.92. All right, let's go down to the next question here. And we've got negative 1.25 times negative 2.84. Well, using our multiplication rules with integers, 2 negatives, our answer is going to be positive. So we're going to go 1.25 times 2.84. And we're going to start by that 4 times 5 is 20. And we put our 2 up top. Then we go 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. And we put a 1 up top. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. We put a 0 in to make our place value up. And we go 8 times 5 is 40. Put a 0 in. And now we're going to put a 4 up top. All right. Then we go 8 times 2 is 16. Times 4 is 20. And then we're going to put a 2 up top. And then we go 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Now we put 2 zeros in to fill in those spots. And then we go 2 times 5 is 10. We put a 1 in. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then our lastly, 2 times 1 is 2. We add all these up. 0, 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 0 plus 5 is 5. And 1 plus 2 is 3. Now we had 4 decimals. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to move our decimal spots in our answer. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get 3.55. And our answer is positive because we did 2 negatives equal a positive. All right. Now let's get a little application in here. In the stock market, a share changed by negative $1.562. If a person owned 74 shares, how much did those shares change in value that day? Well, that's not a good change. It's negative. So we got a negative 1.562 times 74, which is a positive. So our answer is going to be negative. So we're going to go 1.562 times 74. And you may ask, well, Mr. Waterman, why did you put that 74 there? Well, you'll see in a minute. I put it there, and we're going to take care of our decimals after. So now what we do is we go 4 times 2 is 8. All right. 4 times 6 is 24. And we move our 2 up top. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. And we move our 2 up top. And then we got 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now we're going to put a 0 in for our place value. And we get 7 times 2 is 14. Put a 1 up top. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 1 is 3. And we put a 4 up top. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. Put a 3 up top. And we go 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. All right, we're going to add all these up. We get 8 and 8, 5, 15. We put a 1, 1, and 1. Now, we had 3 decimal spots right here. And so we have to move our decimal spot 3 in. Now our answer is going to be negative 115.588. That's how much money you would lose on that much stock loss. All right? So I'd like you to come to class. I want you to go and check out TSN now, because in class we're going to be doing some sports reporting on math. All right? So check it out. Have a good afternoon. I want you to try this question as well. Okay?